Initially releasing on the PlayStation 4 in December of 2021 and later on Steam and Xbox in December of 2022, Solar Ash is a true diamond in the rough in an ocean of rushed and unfinished games. You play as Ray, a Void Runner, who is attempting to save their planet from a nearby black hole. The single-player adventure has you skating across clouds of stardust, through mysterious ruins of a forgotten age, and up the bodies of colossal titans. While many ideas and mechanics are borrowed from other games, such as Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic in particular, Solar Ash puts in the elbow grease to make these mechanics its own, by placing unique spins on the concepts. This video will contain light spoilers and will cover mechanics such as movement, puzzle solving, combat, boss battles, as well as the map and collectibles. Movement is the main mechanic of Solar Ash and is what most mechanics are designed around. Ray is able to glide across surfaces with ease, utilizing two movement speeds, a slower walking pace for precise parkour, and the sprint, which allows you to race across surfaces. As well as this, you have access to a double jump and boost, which can propel you forward in order to gain some momentum, of which is subtly featured and can be felt when moving downhill or off a jump onto a slope. Another aspect of movement, which I will touch on later, is found in the combat system, which allows you to stay in the air briefly and gain some momentum forward. As well as this, there is a grapple hook-esque mechanic tied to the combat which allows you to zip around. There are also rails which can be grinded on and used to gain speed, however, these are only found in some environments in the game. Puzzle solving is what makes up most of Solar Ash and involves you dashing around to attack these needle-like markers in order to remove a corruption-like entity from the world. However, these needles must all be destroyed within a short time limit or else you'll be instantly eliminated upon touching the surface of this corruption, hence some of the puzzles can take a few tries. Each area features its own unique design language and puzzle mechanics, keeping the game somewhat fresh each time you reach a new zone. However, some mechanics can become trying and repetitive. Combat is very basic in the sense that you really only have one attack which you can use 3 times in a row to perform a very basic combo. This is often satisfying in the case where there's 3 low health enemies lined up and each move takes them out, but less satisfying when facing against tankier enemies who require to use the same combo on them 3 or 4 times. However, there is a grapple hook-esque feature which allows you to zip towards enemies, which is an attack in itself. There are 2 ways to use the grapple hook. You can either aim and zip towards enemies who are nearby, or if you want to close some distance, you are able to use a time shift ability, which slows time and allows you to zip towards further targets. This is crucial in most of the boss battles. The map for Solar Ash consists of 6 separate zone areas, each with their own aesthetic and design, with each zone introducing some sort of mechanic related to puzzle solving. Each zone feels like its own area and encourages you to move around in it in different and unique ways. The names of the zones are as follows: Landing Site, Crater, Eternal Garden, Broken Capital, the Luminous Peak, Ironroot Basin, and Mirror Sea. Each of these areas, with the exception of the Landing Site, has its own boss battle tied to it, as well as a single side quest and a set of collectibles. Each zone is designed with the movement system in mind, as they were all fun to traverse. However, some of the puzzles in some zones, particularly in Broken Capital, were a bit confusing due to the large space which it encompasses. Boss battles in Solar Ash are very reminiscent of Shadow of the Colossus in the sense that you must face behemoth-sized bosses, which is very exciting and satisfying when you finally take them down. There are 6 bosses in the game, each with their own unique design and level of difficulty. The battles have you skating on the surfaces of the bosses and destroying specific needle points on the boss before its body sets itself ablaze, which will insta-kill. So in that sense, these battles are essentially a glorified puzzle, like the ones you would be required to do prior to fighting the boss. You must utilize both your standard and grapple attacks in order to defeat these bosses, which can be satisfying when you quickly chain these moves together, but may take 1 or 2 tries. Defeating a boss will get you closer to the end goal of saving your planet, but doesn't give you any new skills or abilities, which is slightly disappointing, but wasn't really all that much of a bad thing for me. One negative of these bosses, however, is how they don't really utilize any of the mechanics introduced in the zone they belong to, which makes the learning of these new puzzle mechanics each time you enter a zone to be somewhat disappointing. The side content of Solar Ash includes both collectibles, which consist of new suit components which give you slight buffs such as reduced time shift cooldown, and side quests, which can be acquired from an NPC which is located in each zone. These quests usually involve finding something the NPC has lost, which aren't really the most entertaining, but I mean, they're there. This side content is a bit tedious, however, as things are very hidden and the map doesn't really clue you in on where you can find these collectibles and quests, making it feel like a very artificial way of prolonging the game. Granted, however, this isn't required to finish the game, and only really serves the purpose of being the subject to achievement hunting. In conclusion, Solar Ash is a game that, despite its flaws, I thoroughly enjoyed, and that I feel with a bit of revision could be a very strong game, and only falls short due to a tiny puddle of problems. Anyways, that's going to be all for today. If you have any opinions on the game, then tell me in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it would be deeply appreciated. Have a good day.